Fuck it, we do it live. I'm getting this content creator thing figured out. First off, in the last video, I cut some corners. I feel like the last video that I made, it wasn't my best work. I'm trying to meet this like every Friday deadline, and I'm still committed to doing it. This video is gonna come out on Friday. It may be like Saturday morning, but like in that time frame. If I haven't posted by the end of Saturday, then like shoot me.
Lightning, and these are some tips and tricks from a pro nerfer that could help you win your next nerf battle.
But like goals Friday. But like these next 2 weeks, you guys have no idea. These next 2 weeks.
What they don't really realize though, this next verse though, these bars.
Content's gonna be interesting. So if you found me through the shorts, or if you found me through just finding me, whatever, you found me. So my name's Liam, and I'm me. That's kind of the best way to explain it. I do a lot of things, and my interests switch really quickly, but they kind of hop around the same few things. So then rather than being like a musician or a gamer or streamer, whatever, I'm just going to be me. So in my last video, I talked a lot about Runescape, and you guys loved it. In that video, I mentioned if I got 10 likes, I got to complete a fire cape. If this video gets 10 likes, I will release me getting the fire cape. I'll do it. I just need 10. I feel like that's a reachable goal. And safe to say, I gotta go get a fire cape. So this video isn't that. Obviously, you saw the thumbnail. You know what this video is about. I will be getting the fire cape. I'm gonna start filming it. It's RuneScape. You won't see it. You'll get these videos of me talking, but then it'll come out. And then, you know, if I could do more RuneScape, I could be a RuneScape content creator. I wouldn't mind. But yeah, also, shout out and huge thanks to all the people in the comments that left nice advice. I'm figuring this out as I go. As far as like music and anything, I just kind of figure out as I go. So let me know how I'm doing. But with that being said, let's get into the actual video. So I want to ask you a question. If you could make like your dream 6 Pokemon, like your team of 6, what are you building? This is a simple idea I had a couple days ago, and I was like, oh, that's easy. And I made a team super quickly. I asked myself that a couple days ago, and I started to make a team, but then after a couple of them, I was like, well, you kind of have to phrase that question a little bit differently. Because think about it, Pokemon is this massive game. If you've clicked on this video, you probably know about Pokemon. I imagine most people have. Like even really old people are like, you playing that Pac-Mans? Like everyone knows about it. And the cool thing about it is it's so many different forms of media. Like obviously the video games are, in my opinion, the biggest thing, and that's what I kind of focus on. But there's an anime, there's a card game. It's on lunchboxes, it's on t-shirts, like you see it everywhere. And all the Pokemon in all that aren't on the same level. For example, Arceus. In the game, you know, he's strong, he's a legend, his stats are pretty good. He's not bad, but like you could take him out pretty easily. Like if you just know what to switch in and you play the game, like it's not too scary. In the anime though, like that's the Pokemon god, like all existence, like the lore. And that's another thing, like the Pokédex is also different. Like it's in the anime kind of more realistically, but not even. Like the Pokédexes are crazy. So the idea of like what would you pick, it changes your answer. Like what is your team of 6? That is a hard question to answer. So what I decided to do is I decided to make 3 different teams. And I kind of based how I built these teams, obviously 3 different ways. The first one is going to be like a competitive team. If I played the video game, like what would I build? The second category is going to be more anime based. So these are purely like just Pokemon I like. I didn't really think of like team building exercise. And then the third one is going to be more like I'm a gym leader. What would I be if I was a gym leader? So I kind of did a monotype thing, but ultimately it gets to why I made this video. My interest, I essentially posted my first 3 videos of like my main interests: gaming, music, and dinosaurs. If some form of media has one of those 3 things, I'm probably going to be interested to it, at least to some extent. And I feel like Pokemon is all 3 of them. So I feel like this is a good video to kind of get to know me a little bit better, which kind of just laid it all out for y'all. So if those 3 things interest you, I'm your guy. But anyway, yeah, let's go down the line. I realized I also didn't name the last video like I'm so good at doing. I felt awful, bro. I'm fine now, but jeez. The title for this video is gonna be "You Looked at Me Funny. Let's battle." Dude, I don't want to edit that. I will scratch that. I don't want to edit that right now. So anyway, let's get into my 3 teams that I play if I played Pokemon or I was in Pokemon. Yeah. Okay, starting off with the mainline games. So here's the thing about the games. The games aren't like lore based. You can't really make a video game like you can incorporate that in the story, and some of the story is amazing. My favorite Pokemon game is Pokemon X and Y. The story was awesome. It was the first one that had like the 3D graphics thing. I love most of the Pokemon in there. Yeah, Pokemon X and Y is my favorite Pokemon generation of all time. But yeah, the games you play through, it's a fun story and all that, but like at the end of the day, it's numbers.
Numbers? What are they saying?
0, 0.
You're throwing out numbers. It's rocks, paper, scissors. The resistance or resistancing. And then obviously people get really into it, and that's where like competitive battling comes into play. I never was a big competitive battler. My buddy is, he's, my friend Logan, he's very good at competitive battling. There was a point when we were in high school, I think, that we did like a Pokemon League. It was like sports, you drafted, but like it was like battling each other. It was cool. I suck at it. I'm just basic level, like the rock, paper, scissors aspect. I'm like, okay, he's got a water type, electric type, which I guess I should explain that. If you've never played the game of Pokemon, bro, you can emulators on your phone. Anyway, it's essentially like a rock, paper, scissors match, kind of. You got your 2 Pokemons, and they battle each other. And if I'm a water type and I'm against a fire type and I shoot my water beam at him because he's fire, oh no, my fire. So I do bonus damage. However, if it's a grass type and I shoot that same water attack, dude, there are some Pokemon that if you hit them with a water attack, they like get stronger. There's abilities. Pokemon have certain set abilities and moves, and they do stat raises. Competitive battling, the biggest strat is you hop in, you get really bulky really quick, so the other person can't do anything about it, and then you just bam, 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 bam. There's videos online of like people trolling on competitive battling. It's funny to watch. I'm just not good at it. So I kind of base this more of like a new game comes out, but it's not a new game. Like I'm dealing with any Pokemon from any generation. The only limitations I'm giving myself are I can only do 1 starter, because if I'm doing like a let's play, I'm only going to have 1 starter. And I also didn't do any legends because you don't get them till the end of the game, and I'm not going to... I love legends, but I didn't put them on the list.
In the arms of the angel, fly away from here.
And so my kind of plan when I went at this was like, okay, you want to make sure you have like a nice spread of typings. If I have a team of all electric types and they send out a ground type, I'm literally doing nothing. HP ice. But it's just not smart. You can do it. People do challenges like that all the time, but that's not a good idea. So, starting this off, I feel like this is the most important question when we're talking about this. Who's my starter? I have thought long and hard about this. Pokemon X and Y may be my favorite Pokemon, but my first was Pokemon Silver. Pokemon Silver is the second game in the whole franchise. And what was cool about it was that once you beat that game, you could play the first game. So essentially you had the second and first game. It was like a DLC essentially. And I played that so much. And that's kind of what got me into playing it on my lime green Game Boy Color. Thanks, Mom. Speaking of Gen 2, and why I bring up my starter, I chose Totodile. And for the longest time, Totodile would have been my answer. Who's your starter? Totodile. Totodile's been my little guy. When I was talking to Logan during this, he was telling me that he has like an idea of Sableye being like his little buddy. And I always thought Totodile was that buddy for me. I said thought because in walks this guy. One of my students drew this for me. I didn't do this, but Way Coco enters the chat with Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet and Violet is the current generation of Pokemon, and I love it. People gave it a lot of criticism because of the graphics at the time, but I liked it. The ability for your friend to join kind of that sold it for me. And it was open world. You could take it at your own pace. I really hope Winds and Waves keeps that concept. I do love Scarlet and Violet. But he's the fire star you choose. You have Fuecoco. Look at this guy. That's a little dude. And he's a crocodile. Totodile was a crocodile. They're both like just little buddies, and I can have both. But unfortunately, in this world, I can't have both. And I also, unfortunately, I didn't put Feraligatr in any of my teams. I've replaced Totodile, and I am now a Fuecoco starter fan. I love this guy. Dude, he's so derpy. But anyway, so that being said, Skeledirge is going to be my first pick on this list. So Skeledirge is the evolved form of Fuecoco, and it turns into a fire and ghost type singing ghost crocodile. This unlocks why Totodile was replaced. It wasn't purely just aesthetic. Feraligatr is cool. Feraligatr is very competitively viable. I hope so. I don't know metas. But I at least know there was a point where you made him adamant and you would do like Aqua Jet and stuff like that. And he could run a minute's Dragon Dance on it was one another thing. Like, he's viable. But Skeledirge just like, he just has more going for him. So essentially, the Pokemon's designed after like a singer. All his attacks are vocal. Like, you give him abilities that are vocal based. Me being a musician, a singer, that's a cool concept, and I relate more to it. Feraligatr will always be my nostalgic pick for my answer. However, this just fits more. And they're both crocodiles, and if I could have both at the same time, I would. But I can't. Feraligatr.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
Skeledirge is gonna be the first one on this. He has an ability called Torch Song where you can sing and it powers him up. He's a good pick. He's a good pick. Another reason why I love Skeledirge is his shiny is pink. I actually grinded out a shiny Fuecoco in Scarlet and Violet.
I got it! This motherfucker pink!
That motherfucker was pink, bro. So with that, the first one, we're gonna throw Skeledirge on the list. Moving on to my second. These next two are going to essentially be my tied favorite Pokemon. I think this one's my favorite. I've been battling this debate between these two for a minute. This is my favorite Pokemon of all time. So Tyrantrum is going to be my next pick. Tyrantrum came out in Pokemon X and Y, favorite gen. But Tyrantrum is the T-Rex Pokemon. It is literally he's a T-Rex. If you have checked by the channel, I like dinosaurs. It's no secret. Obvious pick here. He's just so cool, dude. He's a rock dragon type. He's really cool. The thing about him though is there are so many dragons that are better as far as like viability. I don't know, man. I don't care about the competitive. Like, if I'm doing a playthrough, any dragon type will do. People have beaten this game with like Magikarps that can't evolve. Like, you can beat the game on anything. And he's just a T-Rex. Like, that's all he is. That's all it is. And that's all it needs to be. In the past, I've been trying to grind for a shiny Tyrantrum. I haven't gotten it yet. But yeah, Tyrantrum's cool. Tyrantrum's cool. I wish he was stronger, but I love him. And with that, we're going to throw Tyrantrum on the list. All right, moving on to number 3. I got the dinosaur part covered, so I got to talk about the music because this is all a game. How does this all tie together? Toxtricity is my second favorite Pokemon of all time. He's the punk rock Pokemon. I got to keep an image, okay? But no, dude, he's really cool. He has like these little flaps, I think, but he strums them like a guitar, and that's like what makes the sound. He has like 2 forms. He has a high amp version and a low amp version. I have shinies of both of them. My one beef with Scarlet and Violet is it did make shinies super easy to get, but you still I had to hatch the Fuecocos. So that's why I went for that one. We have shinies for both of them. They're also pink. Yeah, he's sick. He came out in Sword and Shield. There's a few mods from that generation I really liked. Yeah, Toxtricity is going to be my 3rd pick on this list. Toxtricity is now on the list. This is the core 3. So when I started making this list, those 3 were the first 3 that popped up. You have your starter and then like your 2 favorite. Sometimes your starter is your favorite. Like those 3 are my top 3 interchangeable of favorite. I love them all 3. They're my children. So this is where the lists kind of start to change in the other categories. We're keeping with the competitive mentality. Take a look at the typings. We got Fire and Ghost. We got Rock and Dragon. And then I got Electric Poison. This is where the typings kind of switched. And this is where my favorites, like, it started to meld. And then also, you only have 3 more slots. There's so many things I want to swap in with those 3 slots. When I was kind of conversating with Logan about making this list, he would tell me that like those last few slots were so hard to fill because there's so many things you want to put on your team. I keep mentioning the name Logan. That's my Pokemon friend. He was my friend. Like we went to school together, but like me and him were we were both into it. And when a new game came out, we would pick the opposite versions of each game without fail. Remember correctly, I'm red, silver, ruby. 4th gen is where we're kind of like divorced parents on it, where we just kind of swap them. That's the only exception. But I'm personally Pearl, Black, Y, Moon, Sword, Violet. Then I think as soon as Winds and Waves came out, I was like, I'm going to be Waves. And he's like, bro, I'm going to be Wind. So my 4th slot, I'm going to go Tinkaton. So here's why I chose Tinkaton. Tinkaton is like this tiny little cute adorable thing with a giant fucking hammer. Fairy type's honestly like my favorite typing.
She was a fairy.
If I were to just kind of like pick one, just because it's adorable, but it fucks up dragons. I need to stop swearing. My grandmother watches these and she asked me to stop swearing. So I'm going to try really hard not to. So I'm going to put a Gaga swear counter. And when I do one, it gets a ding. Like that. Yeah, so fairy is probably my favorite typing. However, I went Tinkaton purely for the fairy steel type. It's a good type. Tinkaton also has like this really cool, it's very strong. You're getting hit with a hammer.
You got knocked the fuck out!
But it's like a glass cannon kind of thing. Like it's hitting. So the steel type kind of helps it out where it has a little bit more resistance. Yeah. I just also think comedic, getting hit with a hammer. Tinkaton, you're going on the list. All right, for my next pick, Gen 1 is cool. But Gen 1, I don't know. There's cooler stuff that's come out. I have a couple of Gen 1s on this list, but I felt like I needed to put one on this one. There's one Gen 1 Pokemon that has really been my favorite over time. I also need to fill my water slot. Water's, in my opinion, the most important typing to pick. Like when you pick a water type and you're trying to have a solid team, you really only want 1, maybe 2. I would argue you can probably get away with 2 water types. That slot I'm giving to Gyarados. Now Gyarados competitively is a beast. Like he ain't nothing to mess around with. But like typing wise, that Thunderbolt really gonna hurt. But he's pretty good competitively. But the main reason why I chose him is that's probably the first Pokemon I saw and was just like, this thing's sick. Like the story. Gyarados is awesome. Magikarp is obviously like the comedic Pokemon, but it turns into this cool beast. Yeah, so rocking Gyarados. I remember in Silver, I caught the shiny Gyarados, but I didn't know what a shiny was. I love shiny hunting. I'm a big shiny hunter. I've talked about it a little bit, but I love shiny hunting. That's like my whole thing. It's AFK. I don't have to pay attention. That's like my specific thing where I love doing it. But yeah, I got that one and I was like, oh, it's shiny. But it was a Game Boy, essentially black and white. You didn't really tell it was red. You could see it was red, but it was... And I didn't know any better. So I had to put Gyarados on this list. He's pretty good competitively. It's good homage. And that's definitely the first Pokemon that I was like, whoa. Gyarados on the list. All right, moving on to my last pick. This one is the one pick that is new. I'm going to be honest. My typings, I needed something with a little more oomph. Like my typings were throwing my whole team off. So normally, this guy wouldn't be on any of the list I put until recently. And I thought about it. My last pick is Mamoswine. Now, here's why Mamoswine originally wouldn't be on my list. If you watched my dinosaur video, I talk about how when the dinosaur period ended, I was just like, Like the mammoths and saber-tooth, I think they're cool, but they weren't exciting me. That's a lie. I do like it. It's just I love dinosaurs so much that it just shadows it. Mammoths are cool. I thought about that and I was like, you know what? Ground ice or ice ground, whatever it is. Choice banded earthquake mammoth swine. That thing is killing things, bro. Type's good. The ground ice is a good combo. It's a beast. And with that, mammoth swine's on the list. That rounds up my competitive picks. If I'm playing through a game and it's like this is all the ones I have options from, I'm probably picking them. With this team, I don't know, editor me, am I gonna do a battle and put it in the video? As you can see, or didn't see, I'm not the best competitively. I'm just assuming I got my ass handed to me. But regardless, I'm not very competitively good. So that's why I only really look at it from like playing through a game. Like playing through a mainline story. Nah, this is a good team. This is probably like the most important team that I would pick because I mostly, again, consume the games. That's my form of media. Now, let's move on from, let's take the games, let's take the numbers, let's take the rock, paper, scissors element out of it. Because, like, typing does matter in the animes and, like, in the lore and stuff, but not to the same extent. For example, 3rd gen, Kyogre and Groudon. Kyogre's wiping the floor with Groudon in the game. Are you kidding me? Kyogre is drowning that thing. But in the lore and stuff, they just battle, and it's like a whole story. And so that's kind of how I went about this next list. But I kind of just thought more of no restrictions. I can have as much as I want. I can grab like a bunch of starters if I wanted to. Like, what are just like, whether it's aesthetically or whatever reason, what are just my favorite Pokemon? Obviously, the top 3 are the first 3 on that list. Those are literally my 3 favorite Pokemon. They're going to be on every list. And so with all that, the core 3 are just going to be on the list. So this next one, I feel like this probably has happened with other people. There's a lot of like dog, cat similarity Pokemon out there. There is a Pokemon that is literally just my dog. So this is my dog Avery. She's a Corgi Lab mix. Normally when a Corgi and a Lab mix, they turn into a stubby little lab. But Avery's just a tall Corgi. Her butt floats in water. She's got the coat of a Corgi. Like, she's a Corgi, but like, it's like a lab with a Corgi skin. And there's a Pokemon on this list that is exactly that. So the next one is Bolthound. Bolthound is literally a tall Corgi. There's Yamper, whatever his name is, which is literally like a Corgi. And then Bolthound is what he evolves into. Bolthound, that's my dog. Every time I play 8th gen and I get to where you can get a Bolthound, I will purposely just keep encountering until I get a female, and then I name it Avery. It's my dog. I literally get to pick my dog. Avery was my first dog that was like mine. I had family dogs, but Avery was like my dog. It's my little baby. So yeah, with that, I'm going to put Bolthound on the list. Moving on to my next one. I love the story of this one. It's sad. It's adorable. It's my wife's favorite Pokemon. But I'm also going to add Mimikyu on this list. Now, I said in the last part that Fairy was my favorite typing. Mimikyu is a ghost fairy type. And at first glance, it looks like a Pikachu, but that's like where the lore kind of kicks in. Mimikyu is not this like Pikachu looking thing. That's actually a costume it wears. It's underneath. You can kind of see with its tail. In the games, it's really cool because when it gets hit, it has like a disguise, so it deflates. So the first time you hit it, you can't knock it out. The reason it does this is because everyone loves Pikachu, and so it just wants people to love it. Yeah, he's adorable. Like I said, he's my wife's favorite Pokemon. He's adorable. Put that man on the list. Alright, and then this one kind of sparked the idea of like outside of the games. Because in the games you can't pick another starter. So I threw another starter on this list. So my camera stopped recording. I think I finished the video and then realized it stopped recording. So let's do that again. So my last pick is going to be Rillaboom. I love Rillaboom. Rillaboom is the GOAT, bro. Rillaboom is literally a drumming ape. Dude, he's sick. He's got like the big drums and you're hitting. Came out in Sword and Shield, and I put him on this list because I would have put him on my competitive list. However, I'm not going to have 2 starters in that one. And also, I didn't actually play Rillaboom when the game came out. Logan actually chose Grookey as his starter. I chose Scorbunny and had Cinderace. Which, in hindsight now, I probably would have chosen Grookey, but that's how I feel about the 6th gen ones. I chose Chestnut, he chose Froakie. Honestly, I love all 3 of the 6th gen starters. I think now I would probably pick Delphox. I would probably pick Finnegan. Like, Delphox is sick, bro. But yeah, for this last slot, I'm gonna throw Rillaboom on there. Obviously, big drummer. Drumming and singing are my 2 main instruments. And, dude, he's just like, he's sick. He hits the drum and that's his attack. He's just this big buff drumming ape, bro. He's awesome. Throw Rillaboom on the list. And with that, that's my non-competitive team. I don't know, just a little another kind of way of thinking about it. Now, before I get into the last section, I would like to talk about some honorable mentions. There are so many cool Pokemon, and limiting it to 6 makes it so hard. I want to put them on this list, but again, I have to narrow it to 3. So getting into the honorable mentions, I'm going to start off with Lapras. When I was talking to Logan about this, he brought up Lapras, and honestly, Lapras and Gyarados, I could have swapped either or. I went Gyarados because of the dual typing. You have flying type anyway. Lapras is cool. I loved the Loch Ness Monster as a kid. That's literally the Loch Ness Monster, so that's pretty sick. I'm also going to throw Tyranitar on there. It's Godzilla as a Pokemon, and he's really sick. As far as pseudo-legendaries go, I also would throw in Metagross and Hydreigon. Hydreigon. I'm going to call it Hydreigon. I'm going to throw those in there. Love those as pseudos. I remember getting the shiny Metagross during the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire run through. And then my last one, I'm going to spitfire a few here because it kind of gives away my last category. But any Pokemon that is a dinosaur or some prehistoric animal, insert them. So Meganium, I'm going to throw Tropius on there. A few of the fossils, Cradilly, Kabuto. Even stuff like Nidoking, like he's not a dinosaur. Or Aggron, he's not a dinosaur. It's a Pokemon, but you can kind of see the dinosaur in all of that. Yeah, so all of those, they're honorable mentions, but they're not on the next one. And that's because, like I said, this is if I'm a gym leader. If I'm a gym leader and I've got a gimmick, I've got a shtick, what is it going to be? So I would be a rock type gym leader. Not only would I be a rock type, I would be a fossil only rock type gym leader. I would get washed quick, bro. You come in there with some water, cooked. But, you know, I'm bringing as much heat as I can, okay? So I'm not going to make it easy for you. On top of the aesthetic, like, I would be a rock gym leader. Like, I can't remember his name, but the gym leader from 8th gen that is kind of just like a punk rock gym leader, he was cool. Essentially him, but like rock type, and it was dinosaur themed. I need to commission some art or have anyone out there that is good at draw like some kind of punk rock dinosaur. I need that as like a mascot. But yeah, so going down that list, this is the only one that made it on all 3 lists, Tyrantrum. That's why he's my favorite. He made it on the list, obviously. That's my ace. Every gym leader has like an ace or something, like their main one. It's obviously gonna be Tyrantrum, so that's my right next to me. If I'm like a rock one, I'm jumping off the amp and he's like right behind me, you know what, something like that. Tyrantrum, that's my goat. So also, me being the dinosaur expert, I got a expert loosely. I'm gonna talk kind of like what it's based off of, because all the fossils are kind of based off some kind of dinosaur, ancient, prehistoric creature. Like, so obviously Tyrantrum is the T-Rex. That's, I already kind of talked about that one. T-Rex, like, as a whole, is just designed so many cool ways, and I really like Tyrantrum. Like, I love like all the extra spikes and stuff he has. It's so cool. So with that, Tyrantrum is at the top of the list. On all 3 lists, he's the king. He's a tyrant. All right, moving on to the next one. I'm gonna put Aurorus. Except for 1st gen, each generation has like 2 fossils. Also, I think 8th gen did like a weird thing where there was 4 as well, but for the most part there's 2. In X and Y there was Tyrantrum and Aurorus. So Aurorus is based off of Margosaurus, and that's my 2nd favorite dinosaur of all time, so that was a very easy thing. Tyrantrum, he's fluffy. You could say he's a Eutyrannus. So I have my 2 favorite dinosaurs. Obviously, they're first 2 of this list. What's cool about Aurorus is it's rock ice, so it's a fun typing. I obviously pick Tyrantrum most times, but every once in a while I'll pick Aurorus when I do X and Y, and it's fun. Again, the rock type, it makes them kind of rough, so that ice kind of gives you a little something. Plus, being a Margosaurus, yeah, throw Aurorus on that list. These next 2, I kind of haven't used a whole lot of them, but I need to, because they're dinosaurs. I'm going to do Rampardos for my next one. So Rampardos is a Pachycephalosaurus, I think, or some kind of Dracorex variant. Yeah, so he was in a 4th gen. I need to go through. I have Brilliant Pearl or Diamond, whatever. I don't remember which one I have. Rampardos is the first one, and it's cool. I like Pachycephalosaurus. The idea it used its head, but I don't know if it's actually confirmed that that's what it was. I thought I heard something that's not what it's actually for, but like that's how we know it. It's yeah, throw Rampardos on that. So next is Bastiodon. So it's based off of Chasmosaurini, which is kind of like he's a ceratopsian. But he's got these really like tall. I don't know a whole lot about this one. I kind of did some light research before, mostly how to pronounce his name. Chasmosaurini, Chasmosaurii. I don't even know. But yeah, that's Bastiodon. We'll throw him on for the same reason. Dinosaur. It was pretty easy to pick these. You just went through the fossils. That's why Cradily, Kabuto, I had to take some of those off. One I forgot to put on the honorable mentions that's on this list, Relicanth. He's not a fossil, but he's a rock, water, and it's based off of a Coelacanthus, which is a fish that we thought was extinct. It's still around, but like ancient. It's an old fossil. Now my last 2 are from Gen 1. Gen 1 had 3 fossils. Kabuto, there was Ammonite, and then there was Aerodactyl. When you're playing through the game, you either really got Kabuto or you got Ammonite. I don't remember how you got Aerodactyl. I just know it was some kind of weird way. First off, I'm going to throw Aerodactyl on the list. Now, Aerodactyl, obviously not a dinosaur. Every one of these 4 up until these last 2 have been dinosaurs. I wanted to obviously put Meganium. I wanted to put Tropius, and they could all be dinosaurs. I could have put Archaeops, but I went with Aerodactyl like right out the way. He's not a dinosaur. The pterosaur. They're different. It's a whole thing. Honestly, at this point back then, like what you know is like a mammal and a reptile is of now. Back then, it was like this weird branching thing. Like we rope them with dinosaurs. They're not dinosaurs, but they are. You know what I'm saying? Same with mosasaurs. Like they just aren't. But we rope them with them, so it's just like sure, I don't care. But yeah, Aerodactyl has like a pretty cool mega evolution. I think he's sick. Give it a flying type, so you know we have a little bit of a more versatility there. Now throw Aerodactyl on the list. On the last one, again, not another dinosaur. I didn't choose Kabuto. I chose Ammonite, which means I got an Amistar. Lord Helix. If you asked Kid Me who I would have picked, it probably would have been Kabuto. Kabutops. He's got these big scythe hands. He's sick. It's not who I'm going for now. I have another show and tell. So this is why I would choose Amistar now. I have Ammonite fossils. I have a couple. When I moved to Tennessee, I had to get rid of quite a few, but this was like my most prized one. Over there, I have the impression. So you have the fossil, and then you have like the impression it leaves behind. I found a piece where it was on top. I think my wife actually found this one. She pointed it out to me, or we found it laying on top, and then I cracked it open. So I have the impression right here, and that's what I separated from. And so because of that, they go together. I found it like this, and then you can take them apart. So I have both parts. These things are heavy. These are just fucking rocks. Ding. That was heavy. Anyway. I got like rock dust on my hands now. So yeah, Amistar is an ammonite. Ammonite is those spinny shell things. They have these like tentacles that come out. It's like the most found fossil anywhere. Like you find them everywhere. Except where I'm at. Now I'm in Tennessee. I can't find shit. But yeah, ammonites are cool. So with that, I'm gonna put Amistar on the list. Lord Helix. And with that, if I was a gym leader, this is what you'd fight. We're getting washed as far as like typing goes, but well, you know, it's not gonna be like the easiest cakewalk. I can plan out Tyrant should be a little bit more stronger, a little bit more, you know. But yeah, with that, those are gonna be my 3 teams: my competitive team, my nostalgia not competitive team, and then finally, if I was a gym leader. Pokemon's such a cool franchise. It's literally in every form of media. So I figured this was a really cool way of kind of figuring out me and like what I like. Let me know your lists. Send me all your lists. Tell me more. If you like Pokemon, what's your favorite kind? Like, tell me fun stories. One last thing before I wrap up this video. These upcoming 2 weeks are going to be crazy. I am traveling to LA, and shortly after I'm going to Alaska. This is also at work. This is like the busiest time of year for me. I'm going to do my best to get this video out by Friday or Saturday, but if it comes a little bit later, it does. Also, again, the Fire Cape video is coming later. I'm going to try and stick to a schedule as much as I can, but if we keep growing and y'all keep wanting to see more, then I guess I gotta make more time to do that. Yeah. Also, let me know down below, like, what do you want to see? What are you enjoying from this? Critique me, judge me. I love the negative effort, or the negative, like, roast me, I guess. I can dig it, or I can't. We'll find out. Yeah, but with that being said, we're gonna finish up this video. This is the longest one that I've filmed, so we're gonna see how this edits down. If you like what you see, obviously smash the like button, subscribe, let me know. New videos coming soon. So yeah, go be paid.